Sean, you started.
Go.
My name is Margaret Albright. I'm a 19-year resident of Newton, and I live in Newtonville. I'm running for the Ward 2 school committee seat. I have one child who is a 6th grader at Day Middle School. I've been active in the schools. I was on the Horace Mann School Council for 3 years. I served on the Social Studies Curriculum Review Committee, and I chaired a subcommittee of the Strategic Planning Group. Professionally, I am a grant and development consultant to social service and healthcare clients and education clients across Massachusetts. For the past 6 years, I've watched as the public trust in our local government has been eroded by bad decisions. It took a group of volunteers, the Citizens Advisory Group, to alert our school committee to the enormous financial, managerial, and public perception problems our schools face. Our reactive budgeting practices and lack of goals have led to what the CAG has referred to as a gradual and cumulative erosion of our educational infrastructure. I'm committed to improving the quality of education in our schools by supporting innovative strategies and programs that work. I will work toward realistic budgets and smarter spending, providing teachers and principals with the resources they need to get their jobs done. Well-maintained school buildings, a regular system of curriculum review that is based on evidence and research, more learning time, and full-day kindergarten. If you believe that we can do better, if you believe that it's time for a new approach to make sure all of our kids have a great education, then please vote for me, Margaret Albright, and ask your friends and family to vote for me on November 3rd. And my website is www.margaretalbright.org. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Renee Murphy, and I am the Ward 2 representative on the school committee right now. I've lived in Newton for the past 18 years with my husband Jay and our 3 children, and our kids are proud to tell people that their family's residency in Newton dates back to 1848. My kids have gone through Cabot Day and North. Right now I have 2 in college, and my youngest is a freshman at Newton North. Prior to being elected to the school committee, I served as the Cabot PTO president. I was on the elementary equity committee for 4 years. I was on the Newton North task force before this building started, and I was also the president of the PTO Council, which is the umbrella organization for all 21 schools. Professionally, I hold an MBA from Suffolk University. I worked as a senior financial analyst at Bain & Company, and before that was at the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston. So I'm running for my 4th and final term on the school committee, and I say final, you know, the Board of Aldermen does not have term limits. The school committee does have term limits. I personally think that term limits are a good thing, but I also feel that my work is not done. There's some ongoing projects that I've been involved with that I really want to see through to fruition. And the first of those is hiring a new superintendent. I am co-chairing the superintendent search committee with my colleague Claire Sokoloff. That work's already gotten underway, and I would really like to see it finish. Second is strengthening our administrative technology and reporting systems. You'll hear a lot when you hear about the schools about how we don't measure and we don't have data. We don't make our decisions based on data, but the fact is that we actually do have a lot of data. We just haven't made very good use of reporting out the data. So we've put some systems into place this year, and I think that you, the citizens, will begin to see the results. Lastly, I want to finish building upon partnerships. I've been very involved this year working closely with Boston College, and they have been very receptive to working with our schools on math, on workforce, with the Newton Schools Foundation. So I want to continue. The conversation is new, but great results so far. And lastly, I would like to finish working on our public engagement efforts. I think we've heard loud and clear that the public wants to hear more about why we do what we do. Thank you.
Okay, the first question. And would you like to begin? We definitely are in a financial crunch. Name 3 cost saving measures you would propose.
Well, we really need to reform our budget process. So I think the first cost-saving measure is that we have to stop budgeting the way we have been budgeting, which is to take last year's budget and trim a little bit off and then put it out as this year's budget. Another cost-saving measure is that we need to take a hard look at our food service. Over the last 3 years, we have lost $3.1 million on our food service since 2007. As a grant and development consultant, I work with helping Massachusetts wellness policies and through the Massachusetts Public Health Association, and they've pointed me to some exemplary practices in Somerville where the food service actually breaks even. So I think that we could replicate some of those things. And I would also like to see us talk with our teachers about changing our benefit split, because that is one of the most, the biggest cost driver. 80% of our school budget is benefits and salaries, and our benefits increase at 10% or more per year. So I think we have to take a hard look at that benefit split and at the possibility of going to the GIC, the state's insurance plan.
I actually don't agree with Margaret so much on the teacher split, but I do agree that maybe going to the state system would be better. I think that, you know, the numbers have been crunched somewhat, and it looks as though going to the state system would definitely save us, and so what that does is free up money somewhere else. On the food service, I followed up after the Citizens Advisory Group recommended that we look closely at food service, and I, as a school committee member, had complained so much about the losses that I won the job of chairing the next round of studies, and I do believe that we can save money on the food service. In my time on the school committee, we've had 3 food service managers, and we've had 2 different rounds of how we deliver service. I got to see how other cities and towns do it, and I believe that we can do a much better job. Unfortunately, our facilities are not great, so in our elementary schools, we don't have kitchens and we don't have cafeterias, so that does add a little cost onto it, but I do believe that there are other organizations out there who are in the business of delivering food service. We're in the business of educating, and I think we can outsource the food service, or at least get close to that. Lastly, I think that the Newton Schools Foundation is really trying to change their model and go from raising $200,000 a year to $3 million a year. And I've been working with them. I mentioned the BC partnership, and we've been looking at some grants. So I think that, you know, freeing up money for technology through the Newton Schools Foundation frees up money in our operating budget. So I think that's something that really holds some promise, and looks like it's going to happen in the very near future.
Okay. Would you like to begin, me, the second question? A lot of